phone. Hello? Yeah, this is Elena. Heather, really? How are you doing? Oh my gosh, I haven't talked to you since graduation. How are things going for you guys? Seems like just yesterday I was at your wedding. I know. Yeah, we're good. So what's been going on? What? No. Are you serious? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. Holy cow. Time just flies and now you're going to be a mama. Oh, that is too cool. Wow. No, I haven't heard from the rest of the gang. You need to tell everybody and then we need to plan a baby shower. We need to get back together. This will be the perfect excuse. Then I can get you that book that everybody's talking about, what to expect when you're expecting. Because, yeah, I hear it tells you everything you need to know. And you can't find out any other way in all one place. I mean, unless you have really fast dial-up. Yeah, seriously. Wow, are you so excited? Oh, I'm excited for you. Oh, congratulations to you guys. Hey, you know what? I have another call. Can I call you right back? Okay, thanks. Hello? This is Elena. Cami? Hey! You won't believe it. I was just on the phone with Heather. I know. What are the odds of the timing? That's crazy. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's making me homesick for the olden days of college and all the fun nights. We'd go out dancing. Oh yeah. So what are you guys up to these days? Yeah, it seems like you guys just had a wedding not too long ago. What? I can't guess, just tell me. Serious? You're lying. Oh my gosh, congratulations. That is such good news. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. So do you feel ready? I guess you never are, right? Holy, that is just, have you told everybody, your family and everyone? You did? Oh, I bet that was so fun. I'll bet your parents are so excited to be grandparents. So do you know when you're due? Oh, that'll be such a fun time. Fall babies are the best. I'm a fall baby. Yeah, I know. We're going to seriously have to talk about a party or something. We need to all get together. That is seriously something we need to do. I know. Oh, no. I am so not ready. I'm still in school and still working on things. I know. Seems like we've been in school forever. College and yeah, and now, yep, I'm at the university. It's going good. I'm definitely not there yet, but yeah. Well, hey, thank you so much for calling me and telling me your good news. That makes me so happy. Congratulations. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hello? Hey, Audrey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good. How have you been doing? I haven't talked to you in forever. Oh, yeah, I'm just hanging in there too. I've talked to a lot of our other friends lately. Yeah, things have been surprising to say the least. About you? No? What? No way. Really? You're pregnant too. That's great. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Yeah. I did talk to Sherry and Lori. Yeah, and Cami and Heather. Yeah, they're all pregnant too. So exciting that you're all having babies at the same time. Yeah. No, we're not. Just not ready yet. I know, but you know, it's early. We have plenty of time. But it is fun that you guys are all having babies at the same time, and yeah, we'll have to plan something fun like a big baby shower, and yeah, that'll get us all in one town at the same time. Things will change for sure. Yeah. So glad you thought to call and tell me that you're pregnant. Just like everyone else. It'll be fun. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be really cute to see you all lined up pregnant with your cute little belly sticking out. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Are you still going to school? Yeah, me too. Dang. You're gonna have your hands full. Oh, and you're working full time. And you're doing that too on top of it all? And you're adding a baby. Wow. You are Superwoman. I know you'll do awesome. Yeah. Yeah, it was good to talk to you too. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi there. So did any of these situations seem familiar to you that I just did in my little skit? If so, I am truly sorry that you're having to go through that because it's not fun. I remember those days of hearing from all my friends and peers that were moving on in life, and I felt so left behind and so just desperate to be able to move on in life as well, and to have my own little baby, to have my chance at pregnancy, to have my chance to call my friends and my baby shower. And I just wanted to have it just like every woman does. And I know what it feels like to get those calls and to know that it's just not happening for you. And I truly am empathetic to you, and I'm sorry. The good news is that it gets better, and that things happen the way they should happen. And that probably doesn't help to hear in the moment, when, especially if you're in the middle of any kind of treatment like in vitro or intrauterine insemination, or even going through the process of adoption. It's definitely not helpful to hear from me, but I hope to make it a little bit helpful in the sense that I've been through it, and I know the pain, I know the loneliness, and I know the hopelessness that comes with all those things that you're going through, and the phone calls that you get, hearing about your friends that you've known for a long time, and hearing their good news and wishing you had your own good news to share. The one thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit, besides getting all the phone calls throughout the 90s, was by the end of the 90s, my husband and I were looking at a house, a starter home, a family starter home. So we were finally able to move out of the rustic cabin that had so many adventures in it. And so we were really ready together as a couple to look more towards starting a family and ready to start. We knew that we would need some intervention as far as medical or to look toward adoption. So we decided, after a lot of prayer and fasting, we decided to do both, because we thought, we just want a baby. We don't care how we get it at this point. And so around the year 1999, we put our papers in with the adoption agency in town. And they told us we had to go to a meeting where other potential adoptive parents were hopefuls like us. And I have to admit that one meeting was the most discouraging meeting I ever went to see these sad couples that just were so pitiful because they were so sad. And it was more sitting in a circle talking about how miserable your life was, as opposed to the hope of maybe having a baby someday. And I think there was a lot of discouragement because some of those couples had been doing this process for years and years, and they had actually started the adoption process years and years ago and just had never been chosen by an adoptive family, so or by a birth family, I should say. I'm sorry. And that to me was so depressing. I thought, I can't come to these meetings anymore because I don't need to be more, to have less hope than I have already. And so that was the first and the last meeting we went to. At the same time, we started doing medical procedures. We started with the intrauterine insemination, which I talked about in my 1996 video. We had been doing it with our family doctor, who was a friend of the family, but this time we actually were going through a professional. And when he learned that we had tried the intrauterine insemination, we didn't tell him the details, that we'd just been going through our family doctor. We told him we had met, we had tried it and it just hadn't worked after several tries. And so he said, well, rather than waste your time and money with IUI, let's just move on to the big guns, which is IVF. So we had our first consult for IVF, and so that was happening at the same time as our adoption meetings that turned into one meeting. We were told at this meeting to make a picture board or a storyboard, and I'm sure things are so different now. Everything's online, and I'm sure it's so much easier now with the social media platforms. But in those days, the birth moms would go in and look at a big book, and you'd have to have your own pages that showed how fun and awesome of parents you'd be. So they said, if you have a boat, if you have an ATV, the more toys you have, the better. You want to look cool, because a potential teenager is going to be looking and wanting to choose who's going to raise their baby. And at their time in life, they're not looking at the future. They're looking at, who's coolest. And so I felt really bad for the other couples there. I felt bad for me because I'm like, I'm not cool. But my husband is. He's great with kids and he's really fun and funny. But I was shy and quiet and awkward, and I just didn't feel like I had a chance. And so that was really discouraging. And I told my husband, I don't want to go to those meetings anymore. We'll keep our deposit with the adoption agency, and we'll keep our feelers out for that. And hopefully someone will think of us and we can go private instead of through an agency anyway. And in the meantime, I felt a lot more hopeful doing something medically, because I felt like I had a little bit more control. Even though I didn't feel like I had control, it was more control than adoption, I'll say, is how I felt. And while that was all happening, less and less friends reached out to me, because after so many years, they realize that there's an issue, because they know you want kids, and when you're not pregnant, you don't have children, and they're on to their second, third, they just stop telling you. Even with their first, the friends out there just don't even reach out to you anymore, and that gets a little bit lonely too. And they're just thinking of your feelings, honestly. And in the video, I showed how exasperated I was by the end, hearing about my fifth friend that was pregnant the same time as all the others. And that's exactly how I felt. And I know that my friends knew that. And so they were just thinking of me. And at the time, it felt like, okay, I'm not in their club anymore, so they don't care about me. And that's just a matter of maturity, I think. And you think differently, and especially in retrospect. I had one friend in particular who actually, we were walking partners, and I was going through IVF at the time. And they were ready for their fourth child, and then they moved in town, but far enough away that we kind of lost touch. We stopped walking together, and I found out that she had her fourth, and then, but I knew that she'd called and told me. Actually, she used one of my pregnancy tests that I had for my IVF that I wasn't going to use because we had to do with the blood draws. And she had a positive answer. She called me because I had just given her the test without the directions, and it was before the days where it said pregnant or not pregnant. And she called and said, so what does one line mean and what does two lines mean? Because I had the instructions in the box. And I said, well, 2 lines means you're pregnant. And she said, well, I guess I'm pregnant. And I congratulated her, and it was fine. But I think she felt really bad by the 5th baby when nothing had worked for us. And I didn't know she had a 5th until I drove past her house, and there was a sign that said, congratulations, welcome home, baby number 5. And that was really awkward, actually, because I stopped by and I was like, hey, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I was a little bitter in those days. But anyway, on to my first IVF story. And one thing I would recommend to those of you going through IVF right now is to try to find another couple that is going through IVF at the same time. We were so blessed, because the first time I went up, we actually had to go to a town called Springville, which is from where we live, it's about a 3-hour drive. And it's just far enough away that But you don't want to make the trip in one day and back. But we did it a couple of times, and we realized it was too exhausting, especially with what you're doing emotionally and physically. It's exhausting anyway. And to add 6-hour driving time, it was too much. So we just decided we'll just get a hotel when we need to up there and just stay over and try to make the best of it. And we knew the process was going to cost in the thousands. We did have some property here in town that we were going to build a house on, but we, in all faith, we sold that property. My husband still can't talk about it because we sold the property to be able to pay for our IVF cycle. And when we went to our first meeting, I had a time written down that we were supposed to meet with the nurse who was going to explain to us all, when we had finally decided to do IVF and proceed. She was going to meet with us at a certain time on a certain day to go over the protocol, which was all the medical, all the pills and all the injections, what time, what day. From my video before with Annalise, there was a chart and you could see how involved it is and how intense it is. And I had a napkin to write on because I guess I just didn't look into it. I didn't really think about it. I went to this meeting and I went in to meet with the nurse, and she said, so you were, and she called me a different name. And for the sake of their privacy, I'm going to use the names Jim and Cora. So she thought I was Cora. And I said, no, my name is Elena. And she said, oh dear, I have actually scheduled 2 couples, you both at the same time. And I didn't mean to do that. That was an accident. And she said, I wonder if Jim and Cora would be willing to share their hour with you and your husband. And not only were they willing to share that hour with this nurse, they were so friendly, and we were fast friends. We realized we'd been married in the same place. We realized we'd kind of been down the same exact path. Only they had actually done a cycle of IVF before, which ended in miscarriage. And this was our first one. So it kind of worked out good because they were kind of schooled in it. They had done it once, and once is all it takes is if you do it right away again, and you kind of know the ropes. And so we had this couple who kind of already done it and would know how to do it and know how to help us along the way. And my husband and Jim became fast friends, and me and Cora became fast friends. The 4 of us, we just had the best time talking in that office, and you'd think we'd been friends for years. And when they found out what city we were coming from, that we were driving in, they said, we live just 30 minutes from this office. You have got to stay with us when you come up here. You can't get a hotel, and you can't be driving 6 hours. And it felt so comfortable and so right. So we're like, okay. And it was actually something we looked forward to because we were such good friends already. And it was such a blessing. Cora was able to tell me exactly how to do the shots. She taught me how to give myself shots. She taught my husband how to give me shots. At the time, we had to order our medications from London, England. They were cheaper there than anything in the United States. And so everything is timed down to the minute. And to order something from overseas was putting kind of a little bit of a risk into our cycle. We didn't want to have to wait longer than we had to. And so we were hoping we'd get this package from London on time. And it came the day before I had to go up to start the cycle. And they were in the little vials, were little glass vials that had all our medicines in them, and we had to break them and then fill up the syringe. And so it was quite the process. It was an ordeal, and there were so many different hormones. There was blood thinners. There was just antibiotics. There was just all kinds of different medications that they had to put me on. I wasn't prepared to have so many shots and take so many pills and have to take the exact amount or ruin the whole thing. And it was a lot of pressure, and I didn't anticipate the hormones and how crazy and emotional I would feel. And Cora and I together both felt this way. And she suffered from PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which means that she overstimulated, and her body would naturally produce too many follicles. And because of that, there would sometimes be no egg. The egg would dissolve. the follicles would be the wrong size, they wouldn't get big enough. There's just a lot of problems. People with PCOS can get pregnant and do. It's just sometimes there can be problems with how many follicles do produce, and could cause problems with the egg. So anyway, she not only suffered from PCOS, but she had a lot of other autoimmune symptoms. She had lupus. She had, I'm trying to remember some of the others, where fibromyalgia. She suffered from fibromyalgia. She was allergic to a lot of different things, a lot of foods, a lot of medications, and some things she had to actually go in for IV drips because she couldn't do the medication that was diagnosed for us to do, that was in our protocol. So I felt really sorry for her situation. So I was really grateful to them for all that they taught us and for opening their home to us. I tried to always take fun stuff for them, and also make things easier, grocery shopping and cooking and cleaning and doing whatever I could for them. And we were both childless couples, so it's not like their house was messy or anything. She was the natural mother, though. She was very maternal, and she taught a preschool class out of her home. So she was definitely ready, and she was just a mom already. I think I still have a long way to go, I feel, and I have 2 children, and I'm 45. And age was another thing. We were the exact same age, and that helped a lot too. I haven't talked to them, and it was before I've had children of my own, so it's been over 10 years, but I'm really grateful. I know that Heavenly Father put them in our path. He put them there to give us hope and to give us friends and to get us through a process that's really excruciating. There's just a lot of emotion involved. So any of you going through IVF, my big suggestion to you is to try to find some friends who are going through the same thing. It really is a game changer. I know that because we did IVF in Las Vegas, which is in the other direction from where I live, and I didn't have any friends doing IVF at the time, and it was a totally different experience for more reasons than that, but friends make all the difference. So that's just one thing to gain from that. And the phone calls, I just hear you, I feel you, and I want you to know that, and to tell you that it gets better. So thanks for tuning in, and like and subscribe if I'm helpful at all, and forward if you know anybody that could benefit from these videos. Thank you.